Scottie, now you heard what Jill Stein had to say. Should this be a nonpartisan effort, especially for a candidate who insisted that the system is rigged?
Absolutely, it should be a nonpartisan effort. If there was actually a problem there, if there was actual real evidence to show that the Russians or anybody else hacked into the voting machines, or the vote collectors, or were somewhere tampered with. There is none of that evidence that is showing. And they can talk about, well, we showed rigged elections within the hacking of emails. That has nothing to do with the actual voting day and the votes that were counted. So, sure, if there was actual evidence showing that things, and I find it funny that she's only questioning states where Mr. Trump won. Why aren't we questioning any of the states that Hillary Clinton might have won? I mean, granted, there's not as many of them as Trump won 30 out of 50 states. But still, why are we just looking at states that Trump won?
And well, Scott, go ahead.
Well, Pamela, those are the 3 states where Donald Trump won by a total of $100,000. But I'm sorry, not 100,000 votes. But let's be real clear. We don't know what the evidence is, and the law allows this recount. And so Jill Stein and there's another petitioner who has asked for a recount is perfectly within their right to do so. We know this was a hacked election process with databases hacked and emails hacked. And so the real question here for Wisconsin, who has accepted the petition, agreed to recount, possibly even an audit on the processes and procedures, and it's just following the law. And all Hillary Clinton has done is said, listen, we support that for accuracy purposes. We'll be at the table. Now watch this, Pamela. Donald Trump will be at the table, too, because he's got a vested interest, and the law allows him to be there, and the law allows this recount in all 3 states.
All right. And Scottie, now Trump says Jill Stein is not going to use all of this money raised on the recount effort. He accuses her of, quote, filling her coffers. But listen to what she told me.
And for his information, this is actually all going into a dedicated and segregated account so that it can only be spent on the recount campaign.
So your reaction, why launch a personal attack?
Well, it's because when you look at it, she's up to the cost of what she's trying to raise. If she was just raising the amount that she needed to pay the fees and possibly the $1 million more for attorneys, she would have raised that 2 days ago. But yet she's continued to up. And the reason why she's saying it's going to cost more for lawyers and consultants, but not giving an actual bottom line. She's not giving a hard line. So imagine that. As more money's coming in, she's asking for money. That's what makes this all look a little bit conspicuous as to what her intentions are.
And that she's saying she wants to file in other states where she hasn't missed the deadline. But go ahead.
So then I have to ask those people that are donating money to her.
Finish.
That's my question. People that are actually going in, and then I have to wonder who is this if they're donating so much money to her, more than what she raised to actually run for president. What is their motivation? Do they think they're just throwing their money? She could go and appeal here in Tennessee then. Then she's just wasting dollars. Let's put this towards a better effort, maybe reorganizing the Democrat Party so they don't suffer such a devastating loss down the road.
Go ahead.
Jill Scott's with the Green Party, first of all. And what difference does it make what her motive is, quite frankly? She's got a right. And here's the thing. Here's the most legitimate part of Jill Scott and others' a challenge for a recount. They have no dog in the fight as far as winning that state or winning those electoral votes. This is purely about integrity and authenticity of the election process, because even if they find that votes were hacked or that there's a change in the outcome of the election in each of those states, Jill Stein has no way of winning. And so that goes directly to her credibility and her commitment to voter integrity and election integrity.
All right, before we wrap up, I want to switch gears a little bit, Scottie. Now, I want to ask you about the reported infighting over the Secretary of State position. There seems to be a divide right now over whether Trump should nominate Mitt Romney for the position. Trump loyalists are against it, but establishment figures are highly supportive of it. Where do you fall on this?
Well, that's actually a very good debate that is happening amongst the Trump campaign. In the end, I'm going to put my faith and trust into Mr. Trump and the decision he makes. But I will say there's a legitimate concern by conservatives right now with Governor Romney being the Secretary of State. They whether it's Rudy Giuliani or someone else, they feel like because Mitt Romney possibly with one of his harshest critics went personally after him, was kind of a snake in the grass, they're worried about putting him in such an important position that when times get tough, he could be probably the biggest torpedo to any success of a Trump administration. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of conversations are going on with Mr. Trump. But in the end, I think we're going to end up trusting what his judgment is, as long as we know that it's not being influenced by outside factors.
Scott, some Democrats have actually said they want Romney to be Secretary of State. Are you one of those Democrats?
Well, I certainly think he would legitimize that position and legitimize Trump. I think that that Donald Trump needs Romney more than Romney needs Donald Trump. He is a patriot. He wants to be Secretary of State, and I think he would bring in mainline Republicans, and he's someone that Democrats could support, and he ought to be that person. Rudolph Giuliani, on the other hand, not sure he's got any great experience whatsoever, and he's downright scary to a lot of Republicans and Democrats in that position or any other position in the Trump administration.
Well, no announcement has been made for Secretary of State. It sounds like